Hey everyone, Jim Phoenix here, and boy, are we glad to be back at this exciting episode of almost a half century mark for Streaming Demons. That's right, this is episode number 47, looks like. And we have none other than Sleepaway Camp 2, Terror Creatures, I think it's hyphenated, from the grave, and this little show, I'm not even sure what's called, The Last Dining In? What? That doesn't make sense. Oh, Drive-In! Oh my god, The Last Drive-In. All this and more on the next Streaming Demons. Hit it. And just like Joe Elliott said, you can do. He didn't say that. He said, "You're good." Yeah. No, just like Joe Elliott said, you too can be lead singer if you can count to 4. That's actually how I know to come in. I do like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and that intro. Did I lose everyone?
No, I just don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand what
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Fined by the FTC ABCs.
Allegedly.
Right. Allegedly. So, welcome back to Streaming Demons, everyone. As you know, my co-host Bach, say hello.
Hello, howdy.
And I usually go through the universe and do a movie, and a gang up movie, the Gangnam Style. Every once in a while, we have a special guest, and today is that day. Xander, say hi.
Hi for the second time.
That's right. Welcome back, Xanders. And guess what? We are having a very special Thanksgiving Veterans Day issue.
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day.
Horror
Fun fact, my first day in the Army was actually, I got to Fort Benning, Georgia, Thanksgiving Day. So it all coincides.
Shit, it works out. We say that because I believe we were recording for last Veterans Day? Or was it this one? Box, do you remember?
I don't remember what it was, but Jim cannot say veterans.
We learned that Jim cannot say
veterans.
Veteran. And we also learned, like, yeah, we're going to have...
Governor, it's Veterans Day.
No, so instead of having veterans on, we're talking about horror movies that had vets in it, or were war movies. And I got like halfway like, fuck, we have someone on staff, don't we?
Yes, that's very true.
Anyways, kids, if you listen to that episode, this is like the makeup, the prequel, or something like that.
This is the better one. This is the better episode, because we actually have Xander here with us today.
There we go. It's always a good episode. Xander, one of my co-hosts is from, I believe it's called, God, they're going to kill me if I get this wrong, Let Me In, the Buffy the Vampire.
Invite Me In. I had to go look it up.
Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, you get it wrong every time. It's okay. It's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
I would never get a show that I am in wrong ever.
Yeah, right.
Not once would I.
Who would do that?
I totally didn't just look over at our Discord to make sure I knew the right title either.
Well, it's even sadder. On my computer, it's Let Me In. That's how it has the folder saved. And on the thing, it's Invite Me In. And I remember listening to us and going, thank you, Travis, for making the graphic, because I have to read it off the graphic so I know the fucking show's title is.
And when you introduce it, you're like, come on in.
It was like, come on down, come on in, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, so if you're brand new to this show, first of all, boy, do we have a surprise for you. Secondly, hi, how are you? Welcome in. We have a very simple premise. One new, one borrowed, one blue, one old wedding song. We get it. And our simple premise is, I am very lazy, so we always let the special guest go first. And that special guest today is Xander. Xander, what do you bring us?
Well, I brought the Blue movie.
The Blue's Clues.
I decided to pick Blue indirectly because it deals with water and there's blue shirts all over the movie, which is the reason I picked Blue. It's actually, I would consider it an important movie for me, is Sleepaway Camp 2.
Oh, who does that star?
Pamela Springsteen.
Oh.
Who is Bruce Springsteen's sister. And Renee Estevez, who was part of the Sheen Estevez acting family.
Is it Joe Estevez's sister or Charlie's?
Charlie's sister. It would be Joe's. I would say it would be Joe's niece, I believe.
Damn it! I was just making fun of that. Is it really fucking?
No, seriously.
Oh,
it's Renee. She's been in a bunch of stuff, and she's part of that. And then, quick fact about the sequel: the third one has Melanie Griffith's sister in it.
There's a sequel to this one. What is it called?
There's like 5.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's 3. Fourth one that they took footage for a movie that they tried to make, but the studio went out of business. But a fan was able to take that footage and make a movie out of it. And then there's an actual 4th/5th one.
And they all have sisters of famous people.
Mm-hmm.
Except
I have the rarer box set of this movie. There's 2 box sets. I have the rarer one. I have all of them on DVD, the first 3 on Blu-ray, and I have part 3 on VHS that, in its condition right now, I could probably sell it for like $100 on eBay.
The VHS or the tape?
Yeah, because it's in fantastic condition. I bought it for $15 at a convention like 5 years ago.
See, people say real estate's a good investment, but really, it's Betamax.
It's actually horror movies. Horror movies actually surprisingly hold their value.
But you know what doesn't hold value?
That's Zero Shoes.
They go beyond value, man. Zero Shoes, XeroShoes.com. I still wear mine everywhere. I love them. That's how I'm still alive. I've outrun everything that's come my way so far in my ZeroShoes.com. Promo code, I don't know. What's the name of our show?
Promo code Cream and Demons.
Cream and Demons.
Okay, so I famously do not like sequels. I don't watch sequels, especially if I enjoyed the first one, which I really enjoyed the first Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, I love it.
I
actually saw this one first, though.
Interesting.
Wait.
So...
Yeah, I saw the second one first, and it's actually my favorite one out of the series. So I already got the first one spoiled for me. But the reason I saw the second one first is, I'm going to date myself, I went to an electronics boutique.
Oh, wow. EB, huh?
To get your electronics, a fresh cut and a shave like you do in the old times.
Because, where I grew up with like the big mainstream horror movies, the Screams and the Friday the 13th, and I've seen most of those. But this is the movie that really might be one of the big reasons I'm actually here, and I love like the lower budget stuff, because I'm from the sticks, and we don't get a lot of that stuff. And, back in that time frame, we got it even less.
Yeah.
It wasn't as readily available as it is now. So this is, matter of fact, we're falling back to when I was in the Army.
Well,
like how this is weird.
I mean, it's hard to get sometimes.
Yeah. So I walked in an electronics boutique, and they used to have, how Walmart has like those big $5 bins of movies?
Nope. Don't know that one.
Yes.
What, Walmart?
Go ahead.
Yeah. There's no Walmart.
So I'm thumbing through it one day. I'm just chit-chat, and I see this movie that says Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and it's got the more famous, like the picture with, with the backpack with the claw and the mask, and I'm like, this looks fun. And I was like, ooh, Bruce Springsteen's sister and Martin Sheen's daughter are in this movie. I got it for like $2 or $3. So I went back and watched it, and I was like, this movie's amazing. I love this movie. That really opened my eyes to, to the more, because a lot of the good horror movies are the lower budget, wing and a prayer style movies, just like this one was, because they actually filmed second and third one back to back. That's why you see that they use the same camp.
Same camp, same people, same cameras.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Matter of fact, one of the actresses in the second one is a production assistant in the third one.
Oh, it's all one happy family.
Yeah, and I've watched this movie enough that they have the Happy Camper song that's kind of prevalent throughout the second one, tiny bit in the third one. I can actually do the Happy Camper song from memory.
Not in the show, you can't, because that's a lot.
No. I needed my kazoo. Where's my kazoo?
But I can actually, I know it word for word. So I can do it.
No, Bach,
we can acknowledge that. It is acknowledged, you know it word by word. Okay, so again,
Yes.
like I love the first one.
Uh-huh.
Sell me on the second one. Don't spoil it, but
Oh, I
sell
won't.
me on it.
Well, second one, obviously, because um oh god, I just forgot one of my favorite movies, and I forgot the main character's name.
Oh,
Angela.
I know. No,
Thank you, Angela. I just blanked.
it's
It's
close.
not Baby Yoda, it's Angela.
Yeah. So we know that we've all seen the first one. We know the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending if people haven't seen it.
Which is great. You should go see it.
Yes.
It's a very interesting movie.
Wait,
And the
wait.
story behind the ending, the
guitar?
back behind the scenes story is fascinating too.
No, it was the first one, the guy with the guitar, or no?
Yes, she
Oh, wait,
becomes a guy with a guitar. Yes.
are you
That
serious?
is
What's the one that's the guy with the guitar then? That was killing
There
people.
was a guitar. The second one had the guitar.
The second one has a guitar and a guy killing people.
Yes.
I think you're thinking of Faces of Death, which had a
No,
guy with a
Yeah.
guitar.
that guy with
But
guitar.
there is a guitar in the second Sleepaway Camp. But no. So what happens is that Angela's still around, obviously, because there's a franchise. And it seems like there's a lot of the same, killing people
cookies!
Yes. One of those people that she considers bad, she kills them.
Oh.
It's a pretty simple premise. It's does the three movies, the main three movies, and actually the fourth one, the Return to Sleepaway Camp, don't really deviate. So, which sounds like, it's a little bit of the same, but there's a certain charm to it that I really like. Like it knows what it is, and it's not trying to do something different.
Okay, so how does it begin in the second one then?
Okay, so basically they open up at a campfire, like everybody's out in the woods having a campfire.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I got a scary story to tell you."
Uh-huh.
And then they rehash the events of the first one as like a scary story, and they're like, "That's not real." And one of the guys said, "Uh-huh, my dad was a cop that was there at the end of the first one."
Well, of course he was.
And it's I really enjoy this because, like I said, there's the charm to it, and there's fun. If you pay attention, all the campers are named after characters from the 80s Brat Pack. So there actually is a Charlie and an Emilio in this movie.
So is she playing her own cousin or brother then?
No, like it's basically the way. Okay, we kind of have to spoil the first one because it has to do with the second one.
What's the first one?
Okay, do we want to? Because it kind of does have to explain the end of the first one to explain the
What
second
year
one.
is this from?
It's
The
the
80s?
80s.
Yeah,
This is like a almost 30-year-old movie.
Guys, if you
Yeah.
haven't seen a movie in 30 years, you're not going to see it now.
Just go see it. If you haven't seen it, go see it and then come back and
Yeah.
then listen to this.
Pause
I
here.
recommend it. I recommend
Pause
it.
here.
Go to Target. Go to the discount bin.
Well,
Okay,
I
we're
mean,
back.
it's everywhere. Yeah, and we're back.
So basically, we
Congratulations.
find out that Angela was a he the entire movie.
Well, yeah.
Became
yeah.
a she because of the aunt. There's this whole thing, which is also interesting because movies like that really didn't deal with transgender issues like that, and it actually did it more so in the second one
Movies like
because
what?
they explained that, oh, well, when she went into the psychiatric ward, she had a full-on, I guess the right term now is gender reassignment surgery.
Okay. So she
is a full-on she
physically
now.
she physically became okay. So she
She went
is trans. She embraced her.
full-on
Okay.
male to female, like full-on
Okay.
gender reassignment surgery.
Okay.
So, and then, oh, these are evil campers. I'm going to kill them.
Interesting.
And
That's weird.
it's a good. I like because it's just like it's funny without being haha funny. You're like, huh, okay, that's cool, or I get that reference, or it's
And that
she's
was kind of
charming. Pamela Springsteen is charming in this movie.
and that was kind of Angela's character anyway. In the first one, she wasn't looking to kill. And again, I guess this is but she wasn't looking to kill. She would just kill those who had mistreated her.
Yeah, and and she was very shy and.
Yeah.
Well, this one she's not. She's like, "Hi guys, who's ready for camp?"
Now, is she
I'm-
is she a camper or is she a counselor?
She's counselor. She's one of the head counselors at this camp.
Ah, okay. That's a shift in power then too.
Yeah. So, and then there's other counselors, but it's her and a guy named TC. Basically the main campers.
TC, the
Or
guy from
excuse me,
Magnum PI?
the main counselors, not campers, counselors.
No, wait.
Okay.
Isn't it the guy with the helicopter from Magnum PI, TC?
No, I thought it was TK.
TKO? Wasn't the guy you fight in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
No, that's Glass Joe.
No, I
Hot
think
Night
that's
Joe. Wasn't it the
actually
song from?
the helicopter and Airwolf.
See, there were so many helicopters in 80s TV shows. You had Airwolf, Magnum PI, Blue Thunder,
Yeah.
Riptide, but Riptide was a boat.
Oddly, I got Airwolf and Blue Thunder mixed up when you said it. I'm like, oh, but isn't there one of Clint
And I
Eastwood?
think-
Oh,
Wasn't Riptide a boat? It was a
It might be.
Riptide.
But you know what's
I
not?
watched a lot of TVs again.
It's not a sleepaway camp.
No. But anyways, but yeah, and it's basically like, oh, she has the same, oh, this kid's bad. They need to be dealt with by murder.
I enjoy that. And you know what? She's kind of right in a way.
Yeah, and then, like I said, the third one, a little bit of the same. But it's just, I think it goes to the fact that Pamela Springsteen has a very, like, nice, sweet charm about her, where she's like, oh, you're nice, and, you know, oh, you're so sweet. You're my favorite one because you're always a good kid, but I'm going to kill you. And it's very,
Yeah.
like, the kills are actually somewhat, like, there's a lot of, like, stabs and pokes and whatever, but some of them are actually pretty ingenious. There's actually one that involves an outhouse.
Oh,
And it's
tell
actually
me more.
it's considered the big, like, one of the more famous kills in the movie.
What does it involve?
An outhouse.
What's that?
It's a backwoods
House.
poopy hole. Backwoods poopy hole.
Latrine. The shitter.
But yeah, and so, like, and that's what it is. She just kills all the bad campers, and then, you know, you have the final girl, and, you know, you have the final girl circuit and all that. Like, it's one of those, you know who the killer is right off the beginning.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's not like, oh wait, it was you the whole time. It's like, no, this is the sequel. The back of the cover says, yeah, she's broken out. Now she's now a camp counselor. Like, that's the whole thing with the franchise. You know who the killer is the whole movie.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting that they pair her with a final girl, too.
Both second and third. You can almost say second and third are kind of the same movie because, like we talked about, a lot of the same crew. They use the same camp for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they even explain it in the third one while they're using that camp, too. Like, they're like, oh, because of the events of the last movie, it got shut down, and we're reopening the camp again under a new name. So, like, they even acknowledge it in the third one.
It's called Camp Crystal Lake. And it's
Wait,
going to be great.
It was Camp Arawak in the first one.
I'm just
Camp-
kidding.
Oh. Because Camp New Horizons was the third one. So it was Camp Rolling
New
Hills.
Horizons? That's a bad name for a kids camp.
Camp New Horizons is the third one. Camp Rolling Hills was the second one.
Rolly Hills.
But yeah, I've seen this movie enough times to where, like, we've already established I can do the Happy Camper song that they wrote for the movie.
So, so because you saw this before you saw the other one, would you?
Because I didn't know the first one. I didn't know the first one had existed until I saw the second one. I was like, the second one introduced me to the franchise.
So, would you give this a higher rating than the first one? Do you think?
It is my favorite one out of all of them, though. So I guess, yes, in a way that this is my favorite one, but tonally, they're very different.
Yeah.
And I still appreciate the first one. The first one's fantastic. You know, even though we
This is
spoiled
how
the
I feel
twist,
about Puppet Master.
I've only seen the first one of those.
Good
Oh.
Lord. Seriously.
I
Thomas
said I said that I liked the first one. I just enjoyed the second and the third one and the fourth
Oh,
one
man.
so much
I was
better.
listening to that thing, and I was like, man, I'm going to go talk to David, and he's going to love this shit. And like, man, you guys trash the fucking shit out of
I
me.
didn't trash it. I just said there was a lot of mouth sounds, which there are, and if I could tell that to David, I would. Anyway, so how is the music in this?
It's there. Like, it's a basic. Like, they don't have that awesome theme song at the end of the first one.
Okay.
Bruce
'Cause
Springsteen's sister can't get a theme song for her movie?
I know, right? But no, the
Cool, right?
Angela's song, that they play in the credits of the first one is a damn good song.
It's a really good song.
Even Yoko
And-
Ono's got music.
The second one is basically the happy. There's other music in it. I mean, you're gonna have your stingers and your other songs, but it's a lot of instrumental stuff and the Happy Camper song.
Okay.
But I honestly, the first one's got the whole series beat with the song at the end, and then third one is basically the same as the second one, and then the Return to Sleepaway Camp has CKY doing a lot of the music.
Andrew CKY? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's only because I think Felissa Rose is actually married to one of the members or something like that. Because I know they were fans too, because one of their CKY albums actually had the end freeze frame on the front of one of their covers, so it was a whole
neat.
thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think the first one's got to beat just because of the end theme.
So, what do you think you would give this Cthulhu rating wise?
Oh, an easy 4.
Okay, 4 out of 5.
An easy 4. Oh yeah, an easy 4. Easy 4. Because once again, it's this kind of movie. If you watch the reason is if you watch the first one and then go right into the second one, it's a tonal shift. Like a lot of people may not like the second one because the first one was completely 100% serious.
Yeah, I might.
It's not necessarily lighthearted, but they do crack jokes in this one, and it's not as, I know some people that like the second and third one and don't like the first and vice versa. So I would give it a 4 only because you may not like it if you like the first one and it's not for everybody. And it's, it's a budget horror movie, but that's what was popular in the 80s and it works. But how hard it is to make a perfect movie. RoboCop.
Well, like 9 times out of 10, like when we watch horror, they're budget horrors.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Tubi.
Oh my god, I wish.
I love Tubi, by the way.
Yeah, Tubi's the best.
Hashtag future sponsor.
My Lord and Savior.
So 4 out of 5. That's pretty good.
4 out of 5. Yeah, that's very good.
You know what? I could follow that, but I'm too polite to. I don't want to crush because mine's going to crush.
Is it on Tubi right now?
Oh, I don't have to.
We check.
So, Box. I'm not following 4 out of 5 yet. But Box, what do you got for me?
I have the Italian Terror Creatures from the Grave, or 5 Tombre per un Medium.
Oh, it is on Tubi.
There you go. Which is a 1965 horror film. It was directed by Domenico Massimo Popillo.
Domenico Popillo? That's the name of that band in high school.
It's a very popular name.
I think so.
You can't swing a cat without meeting a Domenico Massimo.
You can swing one, you can see one.
Anyway, so it actually stars Barbara Steele, who, if people know, she was in a lot of Italian Gothic horror films of the 60s. She's like basically one of the queen of all scream queens kind of a thing. She was in a lot of, she was in Castle of Blood, she was in Black Sunday, she was in The Pit and the Pendulum.
Black Sunday.
So she was in this as well. I felt very underutilized, but what can I do? It's weird because this movie is kind of like, there was a lot of good people behind it. You had Carlo Di Palma, who did the cinematography, who did a lot of cinematography for Woody Allen. You had the Aldo Pigo, who did the music, who did like music for more than 30 films. You would think that this movie would be more interesting than it was.
Hey, Mario. No?
But anyway, so for one, the copy that I watched was on Tubi. It looked like it was probably filmed on a potato of some kind. It was very hard to see.
We know what happened to the roller gator now.
It was filmed on a potato.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was filmed on this before it was filmed.
No, okay. Before you say where it's filmed, this is not a screener, is it?
This is not a screener, no.
Okay, because we did like 2 Italians last time. We also did
Yes, we
Italian
did.
movies.
We did 2 Italians last time, and that was a
You know what I mean?
wild
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is an older film. This is from the 60s, very gothic, black and white. This attorney goes to a castle to settle this like estate for a recently deceased dude. He got this letter. It turns out it was like from the daughter. So the daughter and the stepmom don't get along. There's some weird dealings going on there. Um, Something to do with the plague is happening. Like
The 60s?
her dad used to summon the spirits of the plague, and now he has plague hands on display. It's kind of weird, and like
Wait,
even
wait,
she
wait, wait.
admits it.
I have a question.
Yep,
Uh,
yeah,
does Lou Ferrigno appear in this movie? And like
for
that one
like
person
5 mintes at the very
Tara
end.
Reid and massage her hands to play the piano?
At the very end.
The very end. Uh-huh.
But these are like hands cut off at like the wrist. They're like thing hands that are plague thing hands, and they're just like hanging out in like I don't know, like a
Oh,
drawer.
like Thing, like from Addams Family?
Yeah, like they're like thing hands. And at one point they do like move around and stuff because they're like possessed and whatnot. But anyway, the dad died and it was mysterious circumstances. And he comes back from the grave with his plague victim friends that he used to summon to seek revenge and whatnot. And it is confusing as all fuck. Um, and the ending is not any better because I don't know why it ended how it did, but it did. And so clap, 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 the end.
I'm pretty sure you just described what people were saying about America in 20 years. I'm not sure why it ended the way it did, but it did.
I'm not gonna even bring out my kazoo for that. I'm too tired to.
Where's the
I'm
yeah,
too
I figured
old
it's
and tired. Um,
too tired. I think that's the new Fast and Furious.
I think it it is, and I will still watch it. I will
Same,
still
like
watch it.
that legit, no joke, is my all-time favorite movie franchise.
It's stupid, dumb fun, and I'll still watch it. Um,
This movie or Fast and Furious?
Both. I mean, like, I I watched both, so why not? Like I said, the surprising thing about this movie is, it has so many good backers to it. It felt kind of
Wait.
rushed in a way. What?
So many good actors, like whom?
Like I
Was it
said,
again?
like Barbara Steele is in it. Like I said, the director had a lot of films under his belt.
It definitely was. Huh,
The
you're right.
director was Baby Yoda.
Damn, he's just
He
so
had
old.
him with his little cup of tea the whole time. He was great.
That's what goes with
Eating
tea.
grandma's cookies. He was wearing his Zero shoes. It was great. But this is kind of what we ended up with was like weird hands in a case that crawled around and like spirits from the dead that were plagued.
Wait. Weird hands in the case that crawl around? It's the name of
Yeah,
my sex tape. No.
I don't think it is. And if it is, I'm really worried about you, Jim.
Well, now you do? Now.
Not, well, I mean, I was really worried before,
The
but
fake noise. Okay.
I'm extremely worried now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was gothic, yes, in the way that like Dark Shadows of the Past was, but to be honest, it was kind of boring. Um, Barbara Steele was really amazing in it. The lady that played the stepmother was pretty amazing. I think Mirella Maravidi was her name.
But is Zuccaro's sister in it?
I
Because
don't
that's
know.
what I want to know. That's the only
Um,
Italian star I know, really.
Oh, really?
Zucchero.
I think maybe she could have been like with the lights, the lighting department,
Use the
maybe.
lighting. No, not with actual lights. It's just her radiance.
Yeah, it's her radiance just glowing.
Bring the
So
effect.
there really, I would love to talk about like the effects of it. There
I
really
would love to,
weren't.
but I'm not. Well, there
There
weren't
was
any. Well,
like
that's even better.
thing hands kind of crawling around, but barely that. Barely that. Uh, I would love to. I mean, the music was good. The acting was gothic.
Mm.
For Italians, there was a few times when I'm like, "Wait, is this dubbed?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's an Italian American kind of production thing. Gotcha." Um, which was very popular in those days, and which usually I love, but this one was just a real slow burner with not a lot going on, and it took a lot to get there, and surprisingly, it got pretty high reviews recently.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like kind of confused at that because when I saw those, I was like, "Oh, this looks good," you know. But no.
No,
Um,
was not. Well, this sounds like something I
was
can beat then. I like the way
uh,
this is going. Yeah.
yeah, like so people had given it like a 5 out of 10, and
Wow.
I
Well, that's a
don't.
good review for you? Like, it's halfway there.
It's halfway there. That's better than I want to give it, but Uh, supposedly the story was by Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the women were gorgeous. The guys are all old and goofy. I'll give it a 2
So
out of
basically, what you're
5.
a 2. Okay, that's almost 5 out of 10, by the way. A 2. That's 4 out of 10.
It's lower.
Yeah, well, it's 4. I know 4 is lower than 10, but okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying the girls are gorgeous and the guys are old and goofy. So you
Yeah.
just basically watch Fox News for an hour and a half with subtitles.
Fox News, those girls are, I would not touch those girls with no
I got
thank
hand. Hey, I got hand sanitizer for a reason. Yeah,
no thank you. There's not enough hand
I'm sure it
sanitizer
wasn't
in
for
the
the
world.
pandemic.
You cannot no, again, Jim, do not stick your dick in crazy. Mama told me this day
Mom
1,
was there.
and I
Mama told me if
listened,
it's green, don't eat
and
it.
it works. Like, anyway, so that's my story, the end. Your turn.
2. Okay, I can follow 2.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this movie. No, I'm gonna do this movie. I'm like, maybe I should watch Haunted Hollywood. I'm like, that's not even a movie. I'm like, damn it, you're right. And so I thought, what do I want to do? I'm gonna go watch A Wounded Fawn. A Wounded Fawn. Hmm.
A wounded
A
fawn?
Wounded Fawn, which is basically about the surrealist Greek and surrealist art and Greek mythology, right? And I'm like, no, not that one. Maybe Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I'm like, no,
That's a
no,
good
no,
one.
no. Yeah, written and directed by Joe Bagos. Like, how about The Apology, which Alison Locke? Like, well, maybe, or even what's that one? Like the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans, or Scare Package 2. Rad Jazz Revenge or something like that, which is
You're
like
throwing out a lot of things, so is this like
premieres
the
on
new.
Shudder
Yeah,
December 22nd, or Burial. Which also premieres on Shudder on December 29th.
yeah.
So I was thinking about these things that on Shudder, which if you don't have Shudder, you should probably get right now. I think it's like it's far less than my Starbucks the
Honestly,
other day.
if you're a fan of horror, besides Tubi, which I absolutely recommend Tubi, you should have horror, Shudder as well.
If
I
you are a
mean,
fan of horror, you should have horror.
you should have horror
Yeah, but
and lots
if
of
you're a
it,
fan of socks, you should buy some socks.
and you can get that from both Tubi and Shudder.
But you know where you can't get it from? Zero Shoes,
You
because you're
can't.
faster than horror at xeroshoes.com.
You
Yeah.
can't get it from Al's Soap Company either.
No, because that's not the promo code.
That's not the promo
Now we
code.
have to make a podcast. And I hate sequels. This is why we didn't have that sequel podcast, because you just told me today you hate sequels.
I know, and that's why
What the shit?
we have to have the sequels podcast.
I hate this shit. What do you give it? 2. Fuck you. I
I
give it a fuck
know.
you. That's what I give it.
It would force me to watch these sequels.
If only there's a sequel to Santa Sangria.
There's only very few sequels I've watched, and that
Damn,
was like Hellraiser, and that was actually good. And trying to think of the other ones. Oh, Child's Play. I've seen the sequels, and
Alien.
Alien. Yep.
Alien.
And then Puppet Master. Those were really good.
But faster. Yeah, if you like some of those movies, you should really watch this is my show. Well, not my show. It's my show for the I wish it was my show. It's Joe Bob's Ghoul Get Together. Premieres Friday, December 16th at 9 p.m. in Shudder. It's Eastern time, maybe specific. I don't know. You tell me. I
People
think it's
are
like
gonna like that.
It's live. Right?
People will like that.
They're gonna love it. If you don't know The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, well,
And Darcy.
and Darcy and Melgo, absolutely.
We love Darcy.
I think you were in for a surprise. You're in for a treat. I show this in my classes. I show this to my friends. I don't have either class or friends, but if I did, I would show them there. This is something that I will say I was not part of the Monster Vision people. I was not part of that crowd because I was an alcoholic and I was, partying. I'm sorry. Like, that's what, like, when's Monster Vision? Oh, it was on the weekend at night. Like, yeah, no, I was fucking with strippers. What do you want? Like, no, we'll watch TV. Good idea.
I was a Monster Vision kid.
Were you? When
Yeah.
was it? When was it? When did it come
90s, from the mid 90s to like right around like
What day?
early 2000s.
What
Saturday,
day?
usually like a Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah, dude, there's no fucking way I was into that.
Yeah, they
Wait a
would start
minute.
at like 9, 10 o'clock and do like a double feature.
No.
I think I vaguely remember that. But
What I remember it most for is it introduced me to Friday the 13th because they would do like around Halloween, they would do a marathon every year. And they did an all night marathon for like the first 6. Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, I was old enough to see Friday the 13th in the theaters. Because for me, like, every time I was introduced, like, I just went to theater when it first came out.
Because you're old, I get
I
it.
am old. I was showing a
it's
Muppet video
okay.
today. And I was like, from 1979. I'm like, you know what? I saw this in the theaters and people freaked out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not old.
Oh, I bet they were screaming.
My God, they were. They actually fucking like, oh my God, danger. Get away from me.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, what the shit? It's just math. That's all it is.
Okay, so what?
But back
Okay,
to
so
Shudder.
Joe Job Jig Briggs.
Joe Bob Briggs and
Bob-
Darcy Mel brother. Mel brother. My fucking God. It's been a long week, guys.
Is she?
The
Wait,
Mel
is
brother?
Hulk on this show? Is Hulkamania on Joe Bob Briggs? Oh my God!
Mel brother.
He did. But he did do an episode of Dinner in a Movie that was on TBS the same time.
I love Dinner in a Movie. That used to be my jam.
He did. They did Mr. Nanny, and they made Hollywood Hulk hoagies for their meal.
Hollywood Hulk hoagies. Oh, I do
remember that. Wait a minute.
Yes.
That was on TBS, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a crush on Annabelle Gurwitch at the time.
Yes. Same.
Oh shit! Okay, I remember this because I would watch basketball on, I think it was like TNT, and they would cut to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
She
fine.
was also in the amazingly underrated movie Masterminds, where Patrick Stewart was the bad guy.
Patrick Stewart's a bad guy.
Yeah,
Well, you
it's
know what?
Masterminds.
I do like a mastermind who was behind bringing back Joe Bob Briggs because I can't get enough of The Last Drive-In.
Same.
I love it. I set my alarm clock to it. I will watch it, and I learn things. I have courses in film work. I have made films, and I still learn shit. I've been on these sets before. I'm like, and Joe Bob will say something like, "My God, really?" And if you are a fan of horror, if you are a fan of just learning, or you know how many great special guests that they had on the show? I was listening back to our podcast, which apparently is either Let Buffy In or Invite Buffy Down. I don't know. I don't know what the name is anymore. And we were talking about the Ice Cream Man with a little person's little hero of some people. He's not a little person. I don't want to say that. But he's a hero of people. It's Ron Howard's little big brother.
Clint.
Big little brother? Sister? Cousin.
What?
Was he in Camp Sleepaway?
No.
I am.
He's talking about Clint Howard.
Clint Howard.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jeez, you're the only person that can't get the name at the top of their head, huh?
Well, that was a long trail.
That's a long way of
to.
trying to drag it out, you guys.
Yeah.
That was actually
Clint
also an
Howard.
episode of Monster Vision back in the day. They did an episode of Ice Cream Man with Clint Howard.
Oh.
That
Came
was
out as their
how we
guest.
got into it. And we're talking about the episode of Buffy that had Clint Howard's mom in it. Ooh,
Yeah.
Oscar Jean, Ron Howard's mom.
She played just like some random lady at a random house. They were looking for a house, and she answered the door, and it was like a scene, but it was their mother who started acting like, gosh, like well past. It was what, maybe the 80s. She started acting in the 80s.
Good.
Well,
Good for
didn't we all
her.
start acting in the 80s? Don't bang on people who acted in the 80s. I mean, that would
No,
be
but I'm just saying
crazy.
that somebody Clint Howard was on the original Star Trek. Ron Howard was Opie, so they've been acting for decades. And their mom started like in the 80s, the 1980s.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Better
Like,
She always came across like in that scene. She came across as like a sweet. I was like, oh, this is Mrs. Jenkins who lives across the street. She's always got cookies. Like she was a sweet lady in the episode.
Well, you know who else has cookies?
Grandma.
Last Heaven. Yeah, no, Grandma might have cookies, but I'm not doing that sound drop. So we have that, and they have guests like Clint Howard, and the interviews are amazing. You learn stuff. They have things that I would like to talk about, and I think I have talked about when Halloween was getting not rebooted, just like ended off, I guess, whatever. And the Blumhouse people are in there, and they're talking about what really is Michael Myers. Is he immortal? Is he whatever? The interview was fascinating, and at the same time, they're trying to skirt around saying what Michael Myers is or wasn't. And I'll have to say, it still didn't work for me. But because I knew the background of the interview, I knew what they were trying to do, and it still didn't work for me.
Oh, I adored the new Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. So, I watched it on Peacock.
Okay,
It came out. I started watching it 2 minutes after it debuted on Peacock, and I was enraptured with that movie. It worked on so many levels, and I will fight for that movie.
Okay, so Jim,
Yep.
this is the one that you watched specifically for this podcast. It's airing when?
You think I watched something for the podcast?
I thought you.
How long have you been doing this for me? You really think I watched?
Okay, all right. So when you read this thing for the podcast,
It was in my email today at like 1:58 p.m.
All right, yeah, but you could play along.
Okay. Yes, no, I'll tell you the one I love the most is Train to Busan.
Oh.
So good.
Because I didn't see Train to Busan ever before. I didn't know it existed until The Last Drive-In.
Really?
Same with me. The one movie I wanted to watch that I watched on Last Drive-In and fell in love with in the same vein was One Cut of the Dead.
Don't remember that one at all. What was that one about?
It's a zombie movie, and it actually takes place 3 different ways because the first part is like a zombie movie, like a 20, 25 minute like short film, but it's literally one continuous take that doesn't cut. And it's great. And then you're like, the middle part, which I think is the weakest, but it's still cool because it's the middle part is the cast and crew of One Take of the Dead or whatever they call the movie is them making it, and then the third part is you're watching them film it, like you're like a cameraman behind the scenes of them filming the first part. So it's like you get to watch not only the movie they make, but like the last 2/3 of the movie is the whole process of them making this movie and making sure they do it right because they have one chance to do it and it is one continuous take.
Oof, that's
But you know what? You know what else?
Fantastic.
One continuous take. Our show every fucking other week. So you think that's impressive? I'll do that 47 more times. That impressed me.
Impressive.
47 more times with multiple.
As a podcast,
damn right. Damn right. You never know.
You know what's going to go wrong with a podcast, all right? Sometimes the voice goes.
Oh, it goes wrong, but who the hell? No, sometimes. And that's just not including Yoda. So my big thing for Joe Bob Briggs is their absolute engagement with the fans. I believe they're genuine. I've been around long enough, God knows. And I think this team, A, gets along together off stage, which is bizarre, but it happens. And B, they are fan friendly to the point where they're just honest.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing it to be like the lip service to the fans. And they're like, wink, wink. No, I think both Darcy and Joe Bob and everyone involved in Shudder A has been super sweet to us as a website, and B super sweet to all like their mutant fam.
Like, I have yet to
not a bad
meet
thing.
Joe Bob myself. Like I said, I've been a fan since Monster Vision. Me and Darcy are mutuals on Twitter, and she's an absolute sweetheart.
What's Twitter?
Yeah, well, back in the day, there was this website.
Uh-huh.
No, but like I wished her happy birthday one day, and I was like, "Oh, my birthday's in like a week," and she followed me, and we've been mutuals for like the last like 4 years.
Cool.
That like
She's awesome.
I don't watch it. I won't. I
I
probably
know.
won't watch it. Like it's just
I
that's
know.
fine, and that's
It's all right.
fine.
We all
That's
have our sense of Figuria.
fine.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm never gonna
I
watch
like
it.
MST3K and I like Elvira, and that's fine. But
She was
when
not on that, I think.
I know she was, I
Yeah.
know she was, and she's fantastic, and her book is fantastic, and people should read it. Anyway,
We
but I
gave away
will
a copy of
say,
it, by the way.
no, you didn't. You didn't give a copy of her book,
You better check the Twitter feed. We sure the hell did.
did you?
Yeah.
I wanted a copy.
Well, next time, tweet, motherfucker.
All right. Well, what is Twitter? Anyway, so but I will say this, that is one thing I have heard from several fans continuously over and over again, is that they're very engaging. They really reach out to people when there has been, because I know that sometimes people, if they're having a hard time, or if they've, had this or that happen, they have reached out to people individually to say, hope you're doing well, or things like that. They really do care about their fan base, and I think that's fantastic, and I think that's really needed.
Yeah.
As
Especially pandemic line.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and especially as we are a small community as horror fans. We are smaller. We're growing, of course, but when you look at a lot of things and you talk to people, it's kind of a niche thing. And the more we build as a community, the stronger we become, and the more that's one of the cool things about, I feel like, the horror community, is that even if we don't like the exact same things as we like, with each other, we still encourage each other, and we still are
Yeah.
like, oh wow, that's cool, oh that you got this, I think that's incredible, or whatever, and that, I think, is something that they absolutely add to.
Yeah,
I
and
think you're right. Oh wait. I don't know if they're laughing, but they are trying to
laughing. Why are they laughing at me? They're all gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
they're all gonna laugh at you. No, but and I agree with that, because I'm because if you want a toxic community, I'm actually a wrestling fan. So I
Uh-oh.
see both ends of this. I'm a wrestling fan. I have Twitter, so you get it. There actually
Yeah.
is a Twitter page called Russell Cringe just off of those people. However, being in a horror community is that, and I like that, especially when you talk about there's different types of horror people. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of like ghost movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they're not bad. It's just not my thing.
Patrick
Right.
Swayze?
But like, I like, to me, slashers, like giant kaiju and like man versus nature is my jam.
Yeah.
But like, and then like The Last Drive-In and then Monster Vision used to do this. It wasn't just slashers. It wasn't just ghost movies. It wasn't just American movies. They showed so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
and
Last
like
Drive-In
the
Time.
one season that I made time to watch, Last Drive-In, it was the second season. They showed Tetsuo, they showed Audition, they showed One Cut of the Dead, they showed Blood-Sucking Freaks. I think that was the same season they showed Chopping Mall. Like, and that's
Mhm.
what's so nice about horror. And I've been to I've been to it a few times, but I've only been to one horror convention, Cinema Wasteland. It's twice a year. It's outside Cleveland, Ohio.
No
Right.
idea
The
what
horror
season it is.
I've been there. I love it because they really focus on like the grindhousey. They have a lot of stuff, but it's like a lot of like grindhousey, like cult type movies, which I like. Like, I gotta watch Billy the Kid Meets Dracula on film. But it's just, you go to a convention like that, and I took a former friend of mine, long story, that he's not the biggest horror fan. I was trying to get him into horror. And there was a couple that he liked. I got him to watch Behind the Mask, which is a personal favorite of mine.
The
And he liked
Kane
it.
Holderidge story? The Kane Holder?
No. Behind the Mask, the Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Oh, that's, of course, that's the one I thought. Isn't that
Absolutely.
his book, though? Isn't that
Kane
Kane's
Hodder
book
actually
Behind the
is in the
Mask?
beginning. Kane Hodder does
Yes.
have a cameo in that, so I can see where you made that
That's
mistake.
the title of his book, right? Behind the Mask.
Something like that. But he does have a cameo in it in front of the Elm Street house, so I get where you made the mistake.
No, I thought you were talking about the book for some reason. Like, oh, they made a movie out of the book? Cool.
Well, there is a documentary about Kane Hodder, and it's actually really good.
So
But anyways, so he goes, and this is somebody who's not a big, he doesn't like the splattery stuff like I do. He's not a big horror fan. He's trying to get into it. And he said the people at the convention, because it was a whole weekend, couldn't have been more welcoming to him. He's like, oh, I'm new to this. This is kind of what I like. They're like, yeah, sure. If you like this, well, try this, and this. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not a big gore fan. So it's like, oh, yeah, don't worry about that. So,
hey, he could have been president, right? It's too soon. You can't make those jokes.
But, yeah, there's just like horror fan, like it almost feels like the horror fans are all the freaks and the misfits because we like horror as much as we do. So we tend to stick together.
Yeah, no.
And there's some, I've seen some gatekeeping, but horror fans are usually pretty good to nip that in the bud.
I think a lot of it too, like you said, is horror relies so much on interacting what is normal and what is abnormal, and
Yeah, be
with
normal.
us as misfits in any degree, whether it's creed or race or sexuality or gender or anything, if we feel as if we're kind of the other, we identify with horror, I think, a lot more. And so that kind of binds us together. And I think that's kind of a beautiful part of our community, is that we can all kind of see, like, oh, these are things that, really affect us, and I can see how it affects you through these things as well, through these lenses. And I think
Right.
that's really important.
Yeah, it also affects. Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thanks.
And it affects all. It affects us all. I think we're both saying, both of y'all and myself, I've been saying the same things. That's one of the special things about Joe Bob's Ghoul Tie Get Together, which
Yes.
does premiere on Friday, December 16th at 9 p.m. on Shutter TV and on demand. Well, watch it live-ish. Don't wait for end demand the 18th of Sunday. Like, don't be a punk. Watch it when it first comes out Friday. You know why? You know why you need to watch this December 16th when it first comes out on that Friday at 9 p.m. You can see me run up bids on eBay stuff that sometimes I pray, my God, I hope someone else bids behind me.
Okay.
Like, here is you don't know that part? Okay.
No.
So they have a charity, a third annual holiday charity auction, proceeds going to whatever charity they pick those years.
Oh, nice.
And or I should just say me, I bid the crap out of it.
Oh.
And it starts off like, it's a couple $100, whatever. And it goes to, it's a couple $1,000, whatever. And it's like $12,000 for the rhinestone off of Joe Bob's beer opener. Fuck. Okay. Someone go for $12,002, please. Okay, thank God. Okay. There's a limit of like, I'm willing to drive it up. And if I win, it'll be awesome. But there's one I'm like, damn, I hope.
Like every auction, really.
Yeah, there's that. Oh my God. And these are all really cool stuff. The honest to God, there's some cool stuff that I was kind of sad on losing out. But you know what? That means someone else who had more money got it. And that means more money went to charity.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's what matters.
Exactly.
And that they're fantastic. And I will always be there with them as long as they keep being fantastic. And I mean, there's stuff, honestly, helped me get through a pandemic. As we're all locked in Canada, we had to like go through people's like windows to see each other. And Joe Bob Briggs was there.
Yeah, and what I like really about The Last Drive-In is some people may not realize that the original 24-hour marathon was supposed to be it. He was going to do, he's going to do one more swan song 24-hour marathon on Shudder. A big thank you, because he had been doing it since the movie channel, which was before me. Like, I didn't start watching until he went to TNT. But that marathon got so popular, they're now up to what? The Thanksgiving and the Christmas specials, the Halloween specials, they're up to getting ready to do what, season 4 of The Last Drive-In?
That's incredible.
And he was like, I'm going to do it one more time. We're going to go all out. He did 24 hours, and that's it. I had a good time. And everybody in the horror community is like, no, Joe Bob, you got still some left in you. And he's been doing it ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the whole vibe on the show. It's the writing smart, it's rhythmic, and honest to God, if Darcy isn't half robot for how much social media she does, I don't know.
She gets booted off Twitter every week.
Well, she's got the backup now. But
like she tweets so much during The Last Drive-In live that Twitter's like, no, you're done for the night, sweetie.
Yeah.
So she has to go to her backup channel just to tweet, because she live tweets, she tweets to other people that are watching because of the hashtag. Like, I don't know how she does it. Yeah, every week. She's like, it's always funny watching the live. If you're watching the live tweets while you're watching The Last Drive-In, how long it takes before Twitter freezes her account and she has to go to her backup one.
Yeah, and Kanye's like, man, I can't get one off.
Yeah,
what's wrong? No. So I am amazed at their ability to bring it together. Amazed at their fan mail, because it's always, it's touching, and I'm amazed I can talk about choking today. But I always look forward to this. This is one thing I will absolutely. It doesn't matter how many hours I have to stay up. I will try to set an alarm. I will try to even do it with. I did it with COVID before. Like COVID, and I had pneumonia after that. I'm like, I'm still awake, guys. This sucks. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's something that it's really energizing. Now, with all that said, I'm going to give not any particular episode, because Last Train to Busan, I'll tell you, I cried still. I've seen it 5 or 6 times.
I mean, if you don't, you're a robot.
You're trying to bring.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I cried too, okay, but not me.
But I will say, for the show itself on Shudder, which again, if you need to go to the Ghoul Tide get together, premieres Friday, December 16th at 9 p.m. in Shudder TV. That's Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. Joe Bob Briggs. 5 out of 5. Easy. 5 out of 5 Cthulhu's. And remember how I gave Face of Death? What was that one movie I hate? Cannibal Holocaust? Yeah. I gave Cannibal Holocaust -1,000,000. I'm going to give them not even 5 out of 5. I'm giving them bazillions. No, I said, I just gave them bazillion Cthulhu's. That's my star rating. What up, yo? Bazillions. All right. With that being said, we're going to the plugs. Xander, do you have a plug for us?
Yeah, like I'm on all my socials. Well, Twitter, as long as it's still there. Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. I might have to start my Instagram again just cause. All Xander Invictus. I have my own podcast. It's on hiatus. I'm looking to probably start at the beginning of the year. It is a pro wrestling / pop culture podcast called Dropkicks and Attractions. We finally got it started after over a year, and then I had to put it on hiatus. So there's about 20 episodes out there. If you like it, it's on Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, Stitcher, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to be doing a lot more of the audio dramas and podcasts here on the website. After the new, like most of my stuff's going to be after the new year because my life's in shambles right now. So
sorry to hear though, but cool, you're coming back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're coming back in podcast form.
Basically.
That is amazing. And the funny thing is, for people who don't know, if you don't know, we've been playing a Buffy the Vampire podcast. You should probably check that out. It happens. It's tomorrow, which would be every time you hear this, it's the week after. We alternate, right? Mm-hmm. So check Xander out. He's funny. He's brilliant. He's very knowledgeable in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. It's our top rated. Well, actually, yeah, might be tied with Streaming Demons, but still.
Yeah. What episode was it where I did the entire American Pie filmography from memory in chronological order?
I don't listen to my own podcast. I have no idea.
It was one of those episodes where I was like, yeah, here's the whole every American Pie movie in order.
Yeah. When I say people should listen, I don't mean me, but I think everyone else. If you guys know, phone in. Phone in, and if you do, I'll give you the American Pie podcast, American Pie collection. If you phone in,
It's like American Pie and Cobra Kai had a baby.
You understand? I was gonna make a karate place. I was gonna call it Cobra Kai, but I didn't want to get sued, so I was put Cobra K. And then I couldn't get the business license for some reason.
Fancy.
Yeah, I had this discount. It was all KKK stuff. It was like this discount all over. Like they had the white uniforms and everything, but I never saw a karate uniform with a hood on though. It was so weird. It was so weird.
Need my kazoo. Where did I put my kazoo?
What was it? All right. And the sound of the kazoo, that means it. Box. What plug do you want to give someone else?
I am going to plug because my my movie had to. Because my movie had to deal with the plague, I'm going to be plugging Doctors Without Borders.
Oh, cool.
I've given to them before. They're a great charity. They really are doctors that go into places where they are needed the most. And
like Pennsylvania. Appalachia. They go in Appalachia, so that's Pennsylvania. So I don't know.
I mean, like they go all over the world. They go where they're needed. They go 100% on their own cost and whatever you donate. They and Charity Navigator, they get a 91%. So I would say donate to them. Like I said, I have before. I think they're a great company. They're both French and United States based, and yeah, let's get people better. Let's get them well.
Also, you said wetter, and I do agree. And speaking of getting people wetter,
let's get people wetter and better.
My plug's coming up, and I'm gonna plug something. That's my thought.
Adam and Eve.
No, discount code screaming what? No.
Creamin'. All right. Anyway,
on Shudder special, I'm gonna throw down a challenge. Joe Bob's Ghoul Get Together premieres Friday, December 16th at 9 p.m. on Shudder TV. If you can outbid me on the charity, bring it, punks. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I don't care who you is. I'm gonna win. It might just be winning the belly lint hair off of Clint Howard's character in Ice Cream Man 5, but oh yeah, it's mine. That'll be my belt one hair, sort of, I guess. I don't know how that works. But that's my first plug. My second plug, they are doing, and this is the only time I'm going to plug Patreon ever.
Oh.
They, being Darcy, is doing the Lost Drive-In, LOST Drive-In on Patreon, Patreon.com. And their team is restoring the lost footage of Joe Bob Briggs stuff. It's amazing.
Incredible.
It's very hands-on. I was a big push for this when it first came out during pandemics. I think, this is awesome. It reaches with the people who love horror and they want to keep it kind of available for future generations. And it gives back to a community that's given so much to us. So again, this is the only time I will ever plug Patreon. The Lost Drive-In, LOST DRIVEIN. That's how much we love Joe, Bob, and Darcy, really. On patreon.com. So the last plug I'm doing is our anthology. Bodies is coming out. It's hitting the floor. I think that's what you say. The bodies are hitting the floor. Is that a song? Can I say it? I can.
As long as you don't sing it.
Yeah. I think if you have enough books called Bodies, you can let them hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is coming out in before Christmas.
Oh, good.
Yeah, absolutely. I worked on the cover a bit, and I think it looks nice. And we're having the last edits go through right now. It
Some
looks
of
amazing.
our writers are going to be in it.
They are? It's amazing.
Yeah. Like Jen from our website is going to be in it.
Jen's going to be in it, and I'm pretty sure Nicole's going to be in it.
Yeah, Nicole's going to be in it.
And I saw someone with initials.
Yeah, some asshole with initials that's box shaped might be in it.
Might be in it. Yeah. but
when
it's amazing.
do we know when this episode's coming out?
This one right here we're talking right now?
Yes. Yeah.
Day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, well, I do want to kind of plug something that the website's doing. If we got a second.
Go for it. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. We are doing, this is kind of we decided to do a live tweet of we were going to do like a Christmas theme horror movie or something related to, and we were going to live tweet it. And I came up with the movie. So if anybody wants to join us on December 5th, I believe we're doing it around 8 p.m. Eastern. We are watching a movie called Sleigh Bells.
You're watching Baby Yoda.
No, not yet.
Not
Sleigh
yet.
Bells. It's on Tubi. That way, I specifically went to Tubi that way because Tubi's completely free of charge, so anybody can join us.
Mhm.
It is basically a holiday-themed slasher movie where Barry Bostwick plays Santa Claus and Richard Mall plays a cop.
Oh, nice.
And it came out in 2018.
That came out in 2018?
2018.
Alive?
Yeah, Barry Bostwick plays Santa Claus. So we're going to live tweet it on Twitter. Where a bunch of us are going to get to watch it, live tweet it. So if anybody wants to join us, watching it along, follow the live tweets and watch along with us. We're going to watch it about 8 p.m. Eastern on December 5th. Once again, it's on Tubi, which is 100% free of charge. There's commercial breaks, which are actually not that intrusive.
Yeah,
And
they're actually not too bad.
No, and then, because they try to do the breaks at, logical points.
Exactly. And the breaks are not, super loud in your face.
No, and then they also give you, by the way, we're doing a break in, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I've also watched
Netflix now. You're going to see the same thing, but pay for it.
Yeah. And then I've watched TV shows on there, too. I was watching some series and stuff, and when they try to do the commercial breaks for the TV shows, they try to do it where the breaks at on the episode.
Well, that's awesome. So when is this on the site?
December 5th. We're going to do it on Twitter on December 5th.
What's the hashtag?
I don't know if we have one yet.
Oh, well, damn it.
We should
I thought
probably
it
get
was
on
Christmas Knocked or something like that.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what we called it. I'm looking it up right now.
And guys, if anyone's listening, wondering, Tim doesn't know what's on his own fucking site, you're right.
Yes.
But it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern on December 5th. So if you want to watch along with us, once again, it's on Tubi. It's called Sleigh Bells, Belles. I found the movie, by the way. You're welcome.
Nice.
I also want to plug that we're all, a lot of us are doing short Christmas pieces or holiday pieces on the website as well. So, they'll be
When does that
fun.
come out? Foxy, no?
Huh? What?
When does that come out?
Oh, starting December 20th or something.
December 20th? So that's whoops, my bad. That's 4 days after Joe Bob's Ghoul Get Together premieres. Pretty soon, our plugs are longer than our show. So,
yeah, I know.
With that being said, we're all plugged out.
Yep.
On behalf of myself, Jim Phoenix, our special guest, Xander, and the co-host with the most, Box Human, we bid you, that's the show. Bye, everyone.
I swear I hear a cat.
Not yet.
Oh.
You never hear no cat, man.
I don't know. It's kind of
spooky voice.
Spooky. This is spooky voice.
I like this one a bit better. It also hears a cat. It goes meow. Meow, man.
I think, do we hear it? Shh, do we hear it?
I hear it.